Hey guys, hope you are all having a fantastic morning. Yesterday's morning video had a lot of comments and feedback, with people all around the world expressing frustrations with housing prices skyrocketing, leaving many out of options and being forced to rent. Some of the stories were incredibly hard to read, with some opening up about the challenges and difficulties that their families have had to face to do the aggressive expansion of big financial institutions into the housing market as a way to hedge their money, since sitting on cash is going to lead to inflation eating it all up. Everything they touch turns to a full-on bubble that ends with a full crisis and a subsequent crash, because the nature of the way they do business is often enforced into other markets and aspects of the economy that do not benefit from it. Today's video is going to be centered around this, because the latest set of developments coming from the housing market are going to send shivers down your spine. The truth is that corporations are not only interested in purchasing middle-class houses to rent them out and drive prices up through artificial demand, but they have now started as stocks, with intentions of turning each house into full-blown corporations. You might be thinking this is me just exaggerating, but let you give me 5 minutes and I am going to flip your world upside down. Though these topics are not exciting in the least bit, and are very depressing, I strongly believe we cannot shy away from them anymore. We need to be as well informed as we possibly can because, as we have proved with inflation and the exodus into housing markets, what happens over here matters over there. This is all connected to everything, and this channel's goal is not to sing praises every day making you think everything is fine and dandy, feeding you infinite optimism. The reality is that the economy has serious problems and the ship is sinking, and today's segment is going to show you exactly how these institutions' very nature corrupts and damages everything it touches. Before we get started, let me quickly disclose and state that I am not a financial analyst or advisor, and that all contents discussed in this video are provided as opinions. All efforts are placed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Everything presented is evidence I collect and all opinions are based on research, experience and knowledge on the matter. Shout out to all my Patreons and one-time donors, who continue to support this channel. Now, let's dive into the topic at hand. Venture capitalists are not running short on ideas on how to make money. They know that purchasing middle-class houses based on location and population growth is the new way to systematically drive up demand and value on their investment. One company called Picasso has been making news in lesser-known media outlets, since the big ones are too busy spreading FUD about retail investors and meme stocks. Picasso, who touts themselves as being the fastest company in American history to achieve a billion-dollar valuation, is brewing serious trouble, and even the government might not look away if the problems they have introduced keep on expanding. Picasso is quickly buying up houses in neighborhoods, outbidding competitors and placing very attractive cash offers to people who initially are unwilling to sell. Once this company gets people to sell their houses, they quickly come and convert these houses in full LLCs. You heard me right. Every house they get, they quickly file the paperwork and convert the home into a full-on limited liability corporation. What comes next is absolutely insane. Picasso then goes and sells the shares of these corporate homes to multiple investors. In fact, if you go and Google their website, you will see offers for buying a share of the house, and you even get to have some weird benefits like having a limited amount of days per year to stay at them. Apparently, once they buy a house and convert it into an LLC, they come and split ownership into 8 shares, and they sell each of these shares to interested investors who opt into their shady business. A deeper look into Picasso will show that the company is less than a year old. Upon digging a little bit deeper, you will find no surprise at all to learn that the founders were 2 former executives over at Zillow, a company that we discussed in great detail yesterday, as they are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to purchase homes cash, drive out competition, end real estate jobs as we have known them, and become a monopoly on the market. The company is a startup in San Francisco. Let's break things down in a more factual matter. The company uses a model of fractional home ownership. They buy a house, invest a little to fix and make it appealing, and then create an LLC for it. They then come and divide ownership of it by creating 8 fractions, and then they sell those shares on their website. Reading their website is like reading a manual for a full-on corporate dystopian society. Check this out. Their website states that if you buy a share of the house, you get the option to stay up to 44 nights per year in increments that can't exceed 14 consecutive days per visit. The website also says you can gift these stays to friends and family if you want. It charges 12% of the home's purchase price up front and then bills you monthly fees going forward. If you buy a share of the home, you are forced to hold onto it for a year, so if something happens and you want to get out of a position to protect your money, you are out of luck. The company is willing and allowed to screw you over so that you can take the brunt of the loss and they can minimize their own losses. Now, let's ask the big question. Is this even legal at all? This company is literally treating houses like full-on shares on an exchange, with a ton of restrictions and weird business practices that would not even be allowed by the SEC, which is something noteworthy as the clowns let Citadel print naked shares. Timeshares are illegal in many vacation communities in the United States, at least for now. This is why Picasso spends a great deal of time and effort into promoting and marketing the message that they are not a timeshare model, though their business practices are the full textbook definition of it. Community officials around all areas in the United States are voicing their negative sentiments about this, as they should. City officials have already placed full-on bans to their business, which Picasso is now suing on federal courts. After checking the lawsuits currently pending and awaiting trial, Picasso says it plans to expand across North America and Europe, so if you live in Canada or a European nation like the United Kingdom, do not exhale in relief thinking this problem is exclusive to the United States. The company has very high ambitions, and with their high valuation, many investors are placing faith in that they will be successful. However, there is a ton of pushback growing against this practice, with communities coming together to voice their discontent to public officials, which is really good news. In fact, full organizations, like Sonomans Together Opposing Picasso, which by no mistake has the acronym STOP, have been formed and started online petitions and gaining a lot of internet traction. Still, however, this has not stopped certain people from investing and buying house shares. The real risk here is that other companies might be looking into how things go with Picasso, because if all of a sudden, they start gaining real traction and expanding rapidly, with little to no government oversight, you can bet 100% that other companies are going to be following suit. So not only might you not own a house, but now if you own a house, you might just simply own a share. Given some of the numbers disclosed, and the appreciation in houses growing over 10% per year, this very business model will be very lucrative, and you can kiss goodbye any opportunity to buy a house if you don't have one yet. Housing will literally become a very niche club for the 1%, and nobody is going to own anything if things keep on happening. I guarantee you that Zillow has a keen eye on this company, and is monitoring them because if this proves to be a formidable business venture, Zillow will adapt and change their company business model to fit fractional house ownership. Take note of this because I am calling it first. They will go on and market their business as simply modernizing old practices that have been done for decades, and aim to simply create a marketplace whereby buying a house now is relatively cheaper per se, with ownership now being shares into these weird house corporations. I know this video is very dark, and I myself hated making it all through the process, but this is type of stuff we have to know. What happens over here matters over there. These things will have a very serious impact on the economy, and as we continue to hold GameStop and AMC, and keep on adding shares, it is of utmost importance that we expand our horizons and knowledge into different portions and developments in the economy. Not too long ago I started talking about inflation when it wasn't that big of a deal and was mostly ignored. Now, there are articles being published daily about the problems that this phenomenon is causing at a global scale and what they might do to the stock markets. We are now even seeing the media even start to say that maybe meme stocks might be a good parking space to combat any sudden shift in market direction, since the company has so much growing support. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. Please take a moment and let me know your thoughts about this. Feel free to disclose any personal thoughts or experiences with this, and most importantly to me, let me know if you like that I am covering this stuff, or if you think that I am venturing too far away from what you want this channel to be. Do you like this type of content, where I extrapolate in other areas of the economy, or do you only like GameStop and other meme stock exclusive content? Don't be shy and do let me know your thoughts. Please consider dropping a like on the video if you found it helpful or informative in any way. If you want to help this channel, I have provided links which will be in the description for donations and a Patreon if you would like to pledge a monthly donation of any kind. This support really goes a long way for me guys. All money is spent on improving equipment and other parts of the channel so that we can continue to upgrade the quality of Simulate and Trade. It does make a huge impact and difference, so if you are able and willing, do consider it. As is common on this channel, you can expect a deeper video diving into the events of GameStop and AMC. I have a really cool morning video for tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that. In the meanwhile, keep on holding to your stocks and add if you can. Regardless what happens today, nothing has changed and we are only raising the floor by holding. See you guys later and to the moon.